Okay, today we're flying the K13. This is a vintage glider that in my opinion has a lot of character. A lot more character than many of the modern fiberglass planes that I think pretty much all look identical. This plane doesn't get flown a lot by many of the members anymore because everybody wants the performance of the more modern planes, but I thought, let's take it for a fly, let's see how it goes. I also tried to gather a bit of information about this aircraft. I asked a lot of the older members and hunted through a little bit of the paperwork on the club's website. And the best I could sort of find was that this aircraft came into service with Southern Cross Gliding Club around 1969, I believe. And that would make sense. This plane was manufactured from about 1966 to 1980. I did have a little bit of an issue. I wanted to fly this, but the ballast limit is very low, and I'm about 100 kgs, and the maximum ballast limit is around 165. So it meant that I would have to fly with a very, very small instructor first. That's the club policy before you fly in a plane or a two-seater, that you go up with an instructor first. Fortunately, there is a special category, and as long as you don't do any aerobatics, then the category can be bumped up to about 185. So I was able to go for a flight with an instructor, which then meant I was able to go for a flight by myself. So this is my first flight in this aircraft, and I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. Even for an old aircraft, this thing flies most beautifully. It's incredibly smooth, and just a pleasure to be up in the air in. Flaps are not fitted, and the carriage down and fixed and trim. We can bring that back to 50, 45. Now I'm really glad I got to take this aircraft for a fly, because this particular aircraft is due for its major inspection very soon, and there is talk amongst the club members of not bothering to have it done, just due to the fact that it's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to need it to have its entire skin removed and have all the timber and glue inspected, and this is going to be a monumentous job, and many members are saying that the costs could be put into a more modern single-seater. I don't know, you tell me what you think. I'm a little on the fence. As I say, it is a lovely aircraft still. It flies beautifully. It's still fantastic to go up in the air and to train people in. I mean, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it. But in saying that, who doesn't like a more modern aircraft? After all, this does have a very, very low glide ratio of about 28 to 1, which is not particularly good by today's standards, but like anything, you just learn to fly that aircraft to its capabilities. Don't push too far away from the airfield. And one of its biggest advantages is that it does thermal really, really well. Although I didn't get a lot of thermals today, in fact there was very few around, to be honest. I had flown this once with an instructor quite some time ago, and I remember that there was almost no lift. Just a little bit, very gentle lift, maybe 1 or 2 knots here and there, and it was staying up for ages. It will thermal on virtually nothing. One of the other things I absolutely love about this glider is the visibility. It's got a lovely big clear canopy, and you are in a very upright seating position. You're basically sitting in a nice little chair, actually. It makes looking around very, very easy. This is not my first vintage glider I've flown. I've also flown an L13 Blanick, and also a Bocean. The Bocean's got great viewing capabilities as well, but I'm not a particularly big fan of that aircraft. The Blanik is just lovely to fly, really, really good, but definitely not as easy to see out through the canopy. You can find one of my videos on here of me flying the Blaniks, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But no, this aircraft is just fantastic in that sense. Visibility is great.
Golf India Quebec Eldersley, 1,800 feet, entering the zone.
A few facts about this aircraft. It's just over 8 metres long, has a wingspan of 16 metres, has a stall speed of about 30 knots, and a maximum speed of 110 knots in smooth air. 75 knots in rough air, and also 75 knots in narrow tow. It has above and below air brakes, fabric covered control surfaces, a fixed undercarriage combined with a skid along the front.
Flaps are not fitted, undercarriage down and fixed. Speed and trim, up 50, 52. Glider Golf India Quebec, turning downwind for glider 06.
When I was reading up about this aircraft, I found that it was one of the most used trainers across gliding clubs throughout the world. And for good reason. It is so stable. It's got excellent handling, incredibly forgiving. And I can really understand why it is just perfect for most beginners. Not only that, its simple, robust construction and low maintenance requirements just make it such an excellent choice for most flight schools and glider clubs who are trying to save a few bucks on maintenance. Final thoughts on the K13, that it's just an absolutely fantastic glider. If the club does decide to keep it on, I could certainly see myself taking this out for the odd leisurely flight, you know, just taking it for a bit of a cruise from time to time. I could really, really see myself flying this in the future. I absolutely had a great time flying it around today, and I do look forward to flying it again. I really do hope that the club does keep it.